So for AM Talk, we have Kamaldeen Abdullah. He's the national coordinator of the MPP. He's here. A very good morning to you, Kamal.
Good morning, Ro.
Looking very ministerial.
Unfortunately, I have not considered that at all, and I wouldn't consider it now. I don't think I want to be a minister now, not at all. So at all, in fact, I actually declined becoming a deputy minister. I must say thank you to the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for such an opportunity that he actually gave me. However, the party is supposed to be formidable. The party is supposed to consolidate its gains among the electorates to be able to get the second term or grab the second term for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, inshallah, in 2020.
So the whole essence is that you want to be
the whole
work
essence
within
is
the
that
party structures.
I'm going to continue working within the party structures. I'm going to continue making sure that indeed the good message or good ideologies of the Dankwa Dombo Buzia tradition triumphs.
Well, we'll see how that goes with you. And good luck to you in your endeavors. But we know that there were clashes when the top halls of the various universities met for their annual, I believe, is it inter-hall?
Hall week something.
That they convened at the University of Cape Coast about two weeks ago, in which there were some clashes that resulted in at least the paralysis to a student and also some injury to some others. And 2 students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have been dismissed as a result of that. We're told that some 22 others have also signed some bonds of good behavior. This action taken by the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, what would you say to it?
Well, it depends on the sort of investigations that the authorities of the school, carried when the incident happened. Obviously, I believe they might have gone into it to unravel what were the causes or what represent the causes of such clash. First and foremost, I must say it's unfortunate to have heard that some students got injured as a result of some untoward behavior of their colleagues and all that. So by and large, we all agree that if you are in a society where rules and regulations are supposed to be seen and are supposed to be implemented or enforced, obviously if you go contrary to those rules, you will be punished. My only position on this matter is that let's be sure that nobody was unjustly suspended or dismissed, so to speak, whether or not they were given the actual or the right hearing, whether or not they were actually established to be the culprits in the matter. And all that. So, by and large, if fairness was actually followed, if just cause was followed to arrive at the dismissal of these students, I'm all for it. I don't have a problem at all. It's just as it's important we as a people agree or attest to the fact that students these days are becoming not the way we used to know them. Discipline is actually thrown to the dogs, and it's something that we need to look at critically as a people and as a society. Otherwise, we'll continue to sit on the media day in, day out and talk about these incidences that happen on our campuses. But it's unfortunate that it happened. I must say a very big sorry to all those who got injured and say that I wish them speedy recovery. The students were dismissed. Let's also be sure that they were dismissed on a just cause. It should not just be somebody sitting somewhere and using his authority to do things within his own whims and caprices.
Well, we've also been joined by the chairman of the PNC, and Bernard Mona is here. Bernard Mona, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Looking
brother.
more like one of the chiefs in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
I wanted to say.
I'm a royal of Sankana.
Oh, okay. Well, a very good morning to you. And now, what would you say to first the clashes that happen and subsequently, because of the disciplinary actions that need to be taken, 2 students dismissed from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology by the management of the school?
Well, let me say good morning to you, and I think that first and foremost, excitement can sometimes lead to situations where unprintable and unthinkable things are done. I'm sure that on hindsight, if you ask most of the students to do what they have done, I'm not sure that they will be able to do it. And this signal the fact that, look, in our excitement, jubilations, and sometimes just the moment you are able to do certain things that naturally you will not be able to do. It's like putting yourself as an actor. You have interviewed most actors, and you know that in private, they may be very, very quiet, reserved persons. But when you see them on set, because they are asked to do something, they do it, and then later when they themselves are watching, they can't believe that, yes, these attributes or characters that they played actually represent their true character. And so for all of us, I have been a very notorious student from secondary school, I can tell you. And sometimes when my teachers and professors see you, they are wondering whether it is this naughty boy that suddenly is comporting himself at the national stage and all that. Because of course we're growing and we're maturing. So some of the things that you will do, you will not do them. Hey, but don't doubt it. Any one of us back on campus right now, you will be carried by the euphoria, you'll be carried by the excitement. Yeah. You understand? And you join in doing some things only to ease out tension, and sometimes they can degenerate, and then we have our difficulties. I sympathize with those who were badly affected. I'm sure that if we take a second look at it, maybe these ones that we have punished, I do not think that the intention is to get them out of school. If you get them out of school because they have just engaged in these matters, and then they come to society and they become miscreants, we may have the price to pay for as a nation and even as an institution. So I hope that we will set certain punitive actions that will lead to reformation in their character and possibly reabsorb them and maybe use them as role models.
Can they apply back to the school?
I think so. I think that we should grant them that opportunity. The universities must be available to accept people who have come back with a certain mentality. You can actually use them to model other students and tell them that, look, as a student, I went through this and this and this, and after going through, so that when they are talking to their own colleagues, excuse me, about the dangers of getting overly excited or getting into certain engagements, I'm sure that they will listen much more than when our professors are telling us not to do A, B, or C. But I can say that at the end of the day, I sympathize with all sides, and in particular those who have been dismissed. It's not palatable news for any parent or guardian to see that your ward has been sent out of school because of any misdemeanor. I pray that after reflection, they could possibly apply in the university or rescind their earlier decision of sacking or suspending them.
I think I'm just going to corroborate what Bernard has posited. I already mentioned that it is important to establish whether or not they were actually dismissed on a just, position. Because if indeed proper investigation had gone into it and arrived at a conclusion where the recommendation was that they ought to be dismissed from school. Now, the fear is the future. These are already future stars. These are already youngsters who are coming up. Indeed, as Bernard put it, if you are not careful and then get them traumatized now, you move them into a mood where you will not like them again tomorrow. So we should temper justice with mercy sometime. Students, like he said, out of excitement can do a whole lot of things. We've all been students before. We've all been people who, of course, embark on one or two disagreements on our campuses and all that. Sometimes students, I agree, we go overboard, but the authorities ought to look at it so well. And even in our law course, Roland, that's why we have sometimes leniency as a word. And judges knowing very well that this person has actually perpetrated this act, but then will still come up with leniency and say that, look, let me temper justice with mercy and let's move on. But then, do we have also, an eye on students on campus? Mostly is a problem. It appears that we just go about giving them lectures, teaching them how to know to read and write, how to come out with their long essays or their project work and all that. We forget the actual modeling of the student, which has to do with how to fit into society, how to have empathy for your fellow colleagues and all that. I'm not too sure if we have psychologists who are engaged to take care of students in that regard. If we do, it's good. But if we do, let's step it up. If we don't, then let's see how we can always get engaged students to be able to get them fit into society so their social life will be something that of decency.
Let me say that I suspect this has to do with the Cuba Games or the whole week celebration of the Atlantic Hall of the University of Cape Coast. And I think that I am partly or indirectly affected because a vehicle was vandalized in front of Adisha Hall and many others. But you know, when we're talking about Cuba, I think it's Commonwealth, Unity, is it Valco or Volta, plus the Atlantic Hall. They meet, and normally when they are celebrating Hall Weeks, they invite from other campuses to come. For instance, Kesley Hayford Hall, Casford Hall, the Hall of True Gentlemen, where I belong. Unfortunately, the Hall Week has been suspended because of the activities of the ATL. And indeed, I'm told that they actually even moved as far as Ogua. And you know, it's just the excitement that pushed people into this. And I just pray that because of these incidences, we will not lead to the suspension of Hall Weeks or over restricting them. We should find a way of ensuring that anytime the students, and you know, through the SRC, normally we send a program of activities to the university authorities. They should be able to draw in the police, particularly when we are going on procession, so that they will guide these movements. Otherwise, I recall that we used to just put a towel on your waist and move all the way from Casford and go through the whole of Central Region, Cape Coast Town, and all that. You know, because of the excitement that characterized with it. And in the University of Cape Coast, for instance, when Casford, either in sports or anything, has to do with ATL, it's almost like going to war. You know, it's like who is superior. And then the Casfordians will always want to say that we are superior because of our gentility. And so I think that, honestly, I think that these excitements sometimes degenerate, no doubt about it. And I am appealing to the university authorities to temper justice with mercy, and also to appeal to colleague students that...
But I should say that the actions resulted in the paralysis to an 18-year-old student, innocent student who was not involved.
One of the actions even led to the death of somebody. And a windscreen of a car that belongs to me on campus has also been broken. But I just took it that it's...
Anyway, we'll see how that goes. Talking about clashes, we know that on Friday, Delta Force, a group we're told is linked to the MPP stormed the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council. And I'm sure you see the pictures very soon. They decided to drive out an appointed regional security coordinator. And, well, this has resulted this morning, according to what the papers are saying, the arrest of the Delta Force commander, and he's named as Kwejo Bamba. He gave media interviews freely. Of course, subsequently, we know the advocacy that has been made by the politicians of our country that we need to ban the vigilante groups, etc. But Kamal, what first would you say about the incident in itself?
These groups. Boys.
These groups, these groups.
This mischief must stop this morning.
These groups, etc. that are parading the corridors of the parties, and we know that it's not an MPP thing only. It cuts across the parties at least. Yes.
Well, I think I have to quickly issue a disclaimer. If it says these are Kamal boys, someone listening might think,
or Nasara boys.
Indeed, these are guys belonging to Kamal. These are party boys, without a doubt. And I must say that, yes, if they were not actual party men, to even get this, energy and this edge to have done what they did would have been difficult. But you see, to say what you want me to state as a position on what happened, I must say clearly that the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has spoken, and he's mentioned that indeed, let's all condemn these behaviors. Of course, I would associate myself completely with such comments, with such a position. I will not be the one to sit here to say that I am going to countenance anything that would disturb our peace as a nation. You see, the bane of this whole issue is the fact that polarization is gradually coming to stay with us. So that a young man who doesn't belong to a political party thinks I have no future. A young man who doesn't belong to a political party that, of course, has the future of being in power thinks I have no future. You see, we would have to look at our politics again. Bernard is here. Of course, rightly so, he's a very big brother of mine. We meet somewhere sometime, not on studios, not with party matters. We meet, socialize, sit down, talk about life and all that. It doesn't stop him from being a PNC chairman. It doesn't stop me from being an MPP man. You understand? Now, are we inculcating this into the young ones or into our followers to, agree to the fact that politics is not just all about going to say that your fellow is your other person is in NDC, therefore he becomes your enemy, or your other person is in PNC, therefore he becomes your enemy. Now, what even happened in Kumasi had nothing to even do with inter-party. It had to do with intra-party matters, okay? Or if you like, intra-government matters. Because they all see themselves as part of the government. The security coordinator, who unfortunately was attacked, also sees himself as part of the government. In fact, he is even appointed by the government, if the facts that we got is right, okay? Now, somebody thinks that, look, I should have been appointed, or the boys think that someone should have rather been appointed and not this guy. Then they go to attack. Clearly, I will tell you, in summary, I am against such attacks, and I will never be for such, behavior. It is not proper, and it is not going to augur well for us as a nation if we're going forward. However, it's important to also note that if you are in opposition and you fall on people to help you campaign, to help you work hard to get power, put modalities in place to ensure that you manage expectations of people after the power is gotten. It's very important. And I may say that as a party, we are somewhat culpable to that extent. Managing the expectation of the people who are our supporters ought to have been very paramount in whatever we do when we got power. How well have we done it is a question. And that is why I'm saying that we will be culpable on that score. If we had done it well, I'm not sure we'll get to where we are today. Okay? So, as quickly as possible, let me have the entire party structures. I am calling on my acting national chairman. I am calling on the acting general secretary, John Boydu. I'm calling on myself, okay, who is also a member of the national executives, and all the members of the executives. My good brother Sami Oku, the youth leader, all of us. Let's quickly sit on the table and see how we can sensitize these boys, our supporters, okay, on how to go about some of these things. It's not going to augur well for the government of the day at all. To hear that your party people have actually gone to the RCC to vandalize offices, to attack people, to do this, it will not be proper. With all respect to the boys, the young men in Kumasi, I know a couple of them. If it's Delta Force, of course, I know a couple of them. We've worked together. They are party people. I am not saying that they are not party people. They are. But please, let's be patient. Let's see how we can go about this. I have just told you earlier on that some of us had to even decline taking positions to remain in the party to work.
For some of these
things, of course. Why not? That's why I say if we have this managing expectation as part of us, and we do it and do it well nationwide, you see, we will calm nerves a bit. Because people are so overly excited. People feel we are in government and therefore I have the right to do anything. Let us not forget that we are a state with laws. Parties are created by the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, which is the mother law of this country. But how well have we educated our supporters is another matter. So, in earnest, let's do something now. Let's work on it. Nonetheless, the police force, I'm told by the story here that the leader has actually been arrested, or their leader is in custody.
Yes. Kojo Bamba.
Kojo Bamba. Of course, let the law.
Bamba.
Kojo Bamba.
Bamba.
Bamba, yeah. So what was this mischief?
No, I just asked.
No,
I want.
Yes, that's the name.
I know what I know where he wants to go. I know. I can
Kojo
preempt
Bamba.
what he wants to say, but that's fine.
Bamba,
I can preempt what you want to say. But you see,
Bernard.
without
No mischief.
let's allow police to do their work. Let's allow the security agencies to actually carry their work. We shouldn't be seen to be people who wants to meddle into the affairs of the police service or the security agencies. I think it's unfortunate, it's not proper, and this should be a lesson to all of us as party followers, with all respect. We've gotten the power, let's show to Ghanaians what we have in terms of good governance. Let's prove to them, let's assist the President of the Republic of Ghana and his team. I mean, his team includes the Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, and the rest, the Senior Minister. Let's assist them to succeed. In so doing, they should also, at least as much as possible, as people in authority, realize that, look, we have a party also to take care of. Let's see how we can build a formidable party as well in government. Then we can move forward. Otherwise, it's quite a difficult position for all of us as a nation. And I think it's unfortunate and it's sad. It's bad. They should not have behaved that way.
Bernard, these groups, now we're told that there's the advocacy, especially Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, who is a member of parliament for Norton, saying that the political parties and the political leaders of Ghana need to rise up against the activities of the vigilante groups.
Including themselves.
Yes, that's what.
Zoka boys were visiting mayhem on people, all this. I'm not supposed to go there. I don't want to. But the fact is that it's about time we put politics aside. We stop polarizing this country so that when I finish my university, I shouldn't be looking for a politician to get a job. That's what the problem is. If I don't know Bernard, I cannot get to work at National Health Insurance. If I don't know Kamal, I cannot get to work at, say, Ghana Police Service because Kamal is a politician. For all you know, you might even be a first-class student, and Kamal maybe is some kind of a lower second-class lower student or something. You are even better than Kamal.
No.
But yet, no, I'm just, no, it's something
by the academic records,
but yet
yes.
you need Kamal to succeed. It shouldn't be so.
Okay, that's all right.
I mean, I think the polarization is just too much.
First, let me start from where Kamal just ended and to invalidate the conclusions that you have made. Being a no-class student does not mean that a first-class student will be better than you at job.
No, it's academic.
On the face of it, academically.
Academic performance cannot be equated to job performance.
No, I agree, but on the face of it.
I'm saying that. So don't go to the issue that academics necessarily must translate into job
But that's not the argument.
I was only being magnanimous.
Invalidated.
Magnanimous to who?
So let's go.
I'm saying that by qualifications and academic standards, take it from me. Bill Gates is not qualified to teach in any of our universities in Ghana.
Yes.
He can't teach computer science because he doesn't have a MPhil or a PhD in computer science. Yet, computer is him. Not so.
Yes.
Yes, computer is him.
He's the computer.
And then he cannot teach because by academic qualifications,
he doesn't have the
qualifications. Those who have the qualifications will have to go and take what he has produced.
Yeah.
Now to come and teach us, and then when you come with first class, you say that you are proficient, so you should get a job at Microsoft.
Very ironical.
That's very strange. Yeah. Anyway, let me put that aside. I'm happy that this issue has come up. If you check your tapes, and I have come to these studios a couple of times, where I have insisted that when you hear of rebel groups, they are normally these smaller groups that we keep in our various political parties as factions, and when we are unable to meet their expectations, they rebel. And sometimes they get into some sophistications that it becomes a national problem. I said this, and I condemned the activities of party people. And in particular, before the last elections, that within the front of political parties, some will take sides even among executives and visit, look, anger, beatings on executives that, quote, are not aligned to a particular faction. We saw it, and I came out in no uncertain terms and condemned and I said, look, let's ban these vigilante groups because they tend to become the rebels. And because we are unable to manage expectations, you see, when we are looking for these people to come, we're looking for the bosins. You understand? We're looking for the bulky, well-built persons who have done some macho training or what have you, that are physically athletic. It is not with any qualification. It is not with any guidance, professional guidance. They can push over people, so we just go and bring them. When you win political power, their expectation is that we were pushing people who put our lives at the front line for you to get. So we must choose for you who should lead us. Possibly the person that they are looking for then comes to the Kamal question. We need some at least basic paper qualification so we can appoint a security coordinator. And those of you who were doing the pushing,
lack it.
The only qualification you have is that you've been able to do metal lifting. And therefore, the system will not absorb you. Unfortunately, and I side with Kamal on this aspect, the party was not able to sit down with them to tell them that, look, we have won power. We know the contributions you made. But we need A, B, C, D. For those of you who do not have the requisite paper support, we will look at how we'll be able to fashion out job opportunities that will cater for your interests.
And the matter dies.
So that they feel that they are not left to their fate because they push you into political power. But there is a mistake. Come on, there is a mistake. And I think that most of us are not communicating it well. The mistake is that because Kamal is seen on television or heard on radios and doing interviews, Kamal has been contributing to the MPP more than those possibly who are
on
the
back.
ground.
Yeah.
And I know one man. I'm not sure you have ever come across him before. Mr. Newman. Victor Newman. I have known that man since, where is the Kokomile? This way, not so.
He was here.
He was always at that party office. He is a man of research.
Well, he's now the director of research at the presidency.
You understand? Who will bring everything. And the man is a deep, he doesn't sleep. If the man is appointed into any huge office, people will jump and say, where is this man coming from? But sitting from where I sit, that man has been one of the key pillars.
And you're talking in relation to the utterances that the gentleman, George J., hadn't contributed to the party in any
You understand that? They who are seen in the forefront, doing the pushing and possibly talking on radio, think that they have contributed more than anyone else. My big brother, Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, formerly MD of Daily Graphic.
Finder.
One
of the Finder.
You know the tremendous contributions he put to this party at the background? Many people will say we don't even know him.
Yeah, it's unmeasurable.
If you get to the presidential candidate and maybe he has to sit down and quantify the things that this young man had done for the party to come and win elections, you will say that, oh, I was just pushing. But people, in fact, and sometimes when you are pushing Kamal, by the time they finish pushing, they will get to you, no? You have to find something for them so that they can go and feed. So there is always a misconception that because somebody was not seen in the forefront, the person was not contributing. And so when you bring such persons forward, they may face some of the problems that the security coordinator, I'm told, is facing. I do not know the real detail of why they will want to resist. But if we knew that maybe we had some understanding that, look, we are going to appoint the leader of the Delta forces and what have you, and I have insisted that they are not relevant. You see, if you want security, you can apply to the Ghana police. You know that?
Yes, very well.
The Ghana police, Kamal, sitting here, if you apply to the Ghana police and say you need security detail, they will look at the merit of your application and do their background check, and they will grant you that security. So all of us who are politicians, if we think that our security is in danger, let's begin to vest confidence in our established security, rather than extort to the informal security that we provide for, which, of course, this man, after running riot, the formal had to take him on. The informal cannot come and take him away. And so I think that it is unfortunate that when we are in opposition, we are excited to create our own wings. And then when we come into government, I'm sure the people who were always leading President Nana Akufo-Addo in opposition, as soon as they won the elections, they cannot come and lead. ADC must come from the army. Not so.
Because we need proper structures.
The ADC must come from the army. So these guys who were always there pushing, they are relegated to the back. Then they will say, no, where was this man when we were doing this? The system will not allow it because he's the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and so forth and so on. I think that it is important that we deal with this matter. I want to believe and hope that the security will be able to deal with this matter professionally. They will also be able to find out, maybe he is just the face and the physical face of it. There may be some big weights behind it. And don't take this for granted. There are people in NPP, Kamal, who will be opposing your appointment.
I'm aware. Of course, it's obvious.
You understand?
In life, you
who
always
will be opposing your appointment. The president may be willing to do it, but there will be
of course,
forces that will say, no, put my son here. My son must be MD for Senate or SIC. My son must be deputy director. My cousin must be this. And so they are pushing people. And you may not, if you do this investigation properly, somebody somewhere possibly wants that job for somebody else and is using these names to go and do it.
The parties. And this one, today is MPP because it's Delta Force, etc. Sure. But we know that...
But the name is exciting, Bamba.
Yeah. So,
I'm happy he didn't go there. But I'm happy he didn't go there, except to mention the name. That's fine.
But just to ask a general question, the parties, how do you deal with these groups and these young people that you put together to make sure to complement the sort of security that you feel when you are in opposition is not provided for by the states?
You see, what's the elite population of this country? Lower than the electorate population of this country. You know that. Now, if clearly speaking, even the elite society that we do have, how many of them are active when it comes to politics? You see, Bernard makes a point that, look, there are silent workers, in political parties. I agree perfectly. However, if as a political party, you need support, okay, and you need to rally the support of the people or the masses to get power, also put measures in place as a political party to ensure, like Bernard professed, that indeed if you get the power, this is the way I'm going to handle these people. Now, it brings a question. Do we have, with all respect to people who are not elected, illiterates who are workers in this country or not? Yes. Bernard's submission to the effect that even Bill Gates, okay, never had some professor emeritus, but yet he's teaching professors, or he was teaching professors, or he has taught professors and all that in ICT. I agree with him. So do we have people who are exceptionally talented that we can use, even though they are not schooled? So what measures did we put in place for this? It all boils down to the management that we're talking about. Look, they have expectations. How well are we going to manage the expectation? What have we put in place to get them also feel that, yes, the power has come and I'm part of it, and then we are moving on. Okay? But I think the major matter has to do with interaction between political parties to solve this problem. Let's get the PNC. Let's get the NPP. Let's get the NDC.
We don't have any voice.
I'm saying, no, look, whether or not you have voice.
You have boys. You don't have boys.
You have boys.
You have your Bamba boys. Oh, sorry. Sorry, the name is Bamba.
You can go to where you want to go.
You have your boys, you have your Delta forces, and what have you. They have the Azoka. We have insisted that these things should be banned.
No, I know you were itching to get it out.
I'm saying that ban those groups publicly come. The president came at the State of the Nation address and condemned some of these actions. Let the party take a stand and say, look, as a party, we want to say that, yes, possibly we use you to a certain end. We want to disband these groupings. These groups will exist. They will be, before long.
Bernard.
Before long. Look, this decision must be NPP. Because remember the IGP, the former IGP came to collaborate our position to say that these groups should be banned. Political party members, I don't want to mention names, came and said that no, they will not because they don't have confidence in the formal security.
I was coming there. You see, the problem is that you don't just come out to say that your
so today you are in power.
No, you will even take
you have confidence in the same formal security opposed to the people that you used.
Listen.
Because you told the people, you told these people that you don't have confidence in the formal security. Now you have won. You have abandoned those that you have confidence in, and you are going to rely on the formal security. That is where the challenge comes.
I say it is a problem we must all try to deal with.
You must deal with or try.
We must try, of course. Obviously, it's not going to be a day event or activity. It's going to be something that, of course, will be a process. Point is that don't take your personal security for granted as well. How well does Bernard in opposition trust the police service? Let's not pretend. Okay? There are people who tell them, when you are in opposition, Edward Mahama has said it. I agree. But see, what is the reality on the ground? What is the reality? To the extent that when, after elections, okay, the president-elect was actually in place, we still had a president, President John Dramani Mahama in place, but yet elements of government, of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, would call on president-elect to call people to order when the president is seated. Are you understanding me? So it then goes to mean that even the president-elect now put in place is almost supposed to have more power than even the president who is sitting, waiting for the swearing in to be done. Are you getting my point? So if we have this particular perception out there, it means that we cannot strengthen our security agencies. It means we have not reposed some confidence in our security agencies. It's about time we sat down as political parties, iron out some of these things, agree to the forward march and move on, so that at least we will repose some confidence in our state security and move on. It's true. Informally, he went riot. Formally, he's in the hands of the recognized agencies today. The informal people cannot come and take care of him or come and take him away from wherever he is. But what are they also planning? We may not know. So it's about time.
Whatever they are planning will be brutally squashed by the formal system.
I agree.
Don't underestimate the capacity.
I would have never.
All that I'm saying is that, you see, when you give them the impression that we don't trust the formal system, it is you we trust. Now you win power, and then the formal...
You can absorb them.
It's not just one political party. It's not just NPP. Not said so. It's not just NDC.
The two of you. You are the problem.
Who told you? You don't have guys following you.
No.
When you were campaigning, I saw some bulky guy.
Never.
Hefty guy.
No.
But at the end of the day, it's condemnable.
It's condemnable.
I mean, Kamal, you were the one following me.
We must be against it. Okay.
You understand? But
what happened when you had your congress in Wa?
Nothing.
What happened?
Nothing.
Now, importantly,
tell me what happened.
How do you assuage perhaps the feelings of these young men? How do you also calm nerves and tell them that assuredly we have a package for you, or we have opportunities to be created for you?
I think that I mentioned something to that effect, and I think that leadership of the party, it will not be out of place for even the president or the vice president to meet with these young men and with the party to assure them that as a government, they are putting in place systems that will lead to job creation, not just for them, but for everybody, and that their interests will be catered for in the job creation opportunities that are coming. And also tell them that, look, some of the difficulties that you come into government, for instance, as president, I have to accept a military man as my ADC and all that, and many other things. So even the people that were directly close to me now had to go back. They can't be in the forefront. I'm sure that, look, we all humans.
Bernard,
and when we sit down like this and talk, Kamal, you should be leading a crusade. I think that the other one...
I have begun, and of course,
I think that
just that it must not be a one-man thing. We must all do this.
We can invite... This is job for the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Center to also look at this matter and see what we can do. Inter-party, you understand, and intra-party. Because, look, the security, what do we call it, outfits, cannot sit down and think that you must always wait for situations to degenerate. Kofi Annan Peacekeeping Center should take part in interested in dealing with intra and inter-party matters. ONEP must be interested in doing that. Even Legon Center for International Diplomacy and
Legon Center for International Affairs and
Diplomacy. They must be interested in these things. It's not just when the situation doesn't come, then you want to.
About it,
let us take the opportunity and know that the political parties are attention sources.
Roland.
The question, how do you assuage their feelings? Because now you're in government, you have to deal with them.
Yes, that's what he prefers. And I think it's important. I was just coming there. I said, let me be brutally frank here. Some of us, the politicians, we have a problem. Immediately we think we have gotten what we want, we tend to be too busy.
They don't pick calls.
We tend to be too busy. It's sad. They call you, you don't pick up.
Don't worry, they do it to all of us.
They do this, you don't do this.
But
they
I have
say
some
this.
good
So
friends,
you see,
like Kamal.
the best way.
You call Kamal, he'll pick.
Yeah, of course.
I get calls from my friends in MPP. That, have you seen this your friend? He doesn't pick up calls.
It just happens. So I think that if they feel neglected, when they feel neglected, these things would happen. But it's about time we started getting closer to them, engaging them, letting them understand that yes, indeed, we have plans for you. That can be done. This can be done. Let's move on. We'll be able to manage.
Let me give you an instance of not picking calls. They've been calling a certain young man in the MPP. He's not been picking, and they saw him come to the restaurant to come and eat. And the people were sitting just at the other side, and they were calling him. He was not picking. And I was saying, Bernard, have you seen your friend? We've been calling him and he's not picking. Now we are calling him.
Yes, your MPP.
MPP friend.
Are you sure he's an MPP?
Oh, why? He's in government.
No,
and then they said, look, he will pick the phone and put it down. And the guys were sitting and watching him. And you know what they were planning? I said, hey, the guy has come maybe the whole day. He had not had time to do anything. This is his free chance. He wants to take something. Right. You know, you had to talk. I'm saying that, look, when we also get into office, I know the pressures of the office and are enormous. So you can schedule times that you can receive some calls, and then you should be able to.
But this position also goes with us saying that indeed, you know, politicians can have pressure.
No, there's pressure. Don't doubt it.
So much
There's
pressure.
enormous pressure.
We should understand
and
that.
every Nasara person in every constituency in this country is calling him.
Every MPP person
is calling him.
It's about every MPP person, not even just Nasara.
And when you are even in the studios now, actually, people are calling you. They are not watching.
How many times my phone has been ringing? It's on silent.
They are not watching this show, so they don't know that you are on show, and they are calling you, and they say he's not picking. You understand? So sometimes, yes, but I'm saying that some of the situations.
Some will even call you because they saw you on show.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's there.
You come out and it's all lot. So I think,
I don't behave like Kamal. You see, I don't come with my phone into the studio.
It's about time my acting national chairman, acting general secretary, my
acting
good self,
all
of us. Please, let's come on board and solve.
You haven't had a discussion on this as an executive.
Go to the party office.
I'm just saying that it's about time we solve this matter once and for all.
Okay.
So that these untoward behaviors will not tarnish the image of our good government that we are actually putting in place, the good governance that we're actually putting in place. We are not yet sure whether it's good. Seeing it. Look at the budget. It was an excellent budget.
No, don't let me.
Okay. The front page of the Ghanaian Times. One thing that government also has to deal with is the surge. Yeah. And now I believe even gone overboard of Galamsey activities. And we've had a clampdown on Galamseyers, and the police have arrested 5 Ghanaians and 5 Chinese. We know that you go to now all the notable areas and all the rivers are polluted. An investigation has been put together by Anas Aremeyaw Anas and the New Crusading Guide team. It's going to come out very soon, the Tiger Eye team as well. So, Galamsey, look, when you're in government, it's good. You get access to the institutions, they'll give you the licenses, etc. But it has to be done right, what do you say?
Once again, our reckless behavior will take us somewhere as a people. Our greedy way of doing things will take us somewhere as a people. You see, not until we in authority or those in authority realize that nepotism and favoritism ought not to be part of your process, then we will always sit down and talk about this.
Hey, come on. You just came to government to relax.
No, look, I told you here when we came to government that if we are wrong, I'll be the first person to say we are wrong. I told you that. It's my position. So there are others who say, look, this is how I say a politician. I said, yes, I agree, I'm not a politician. However, I am touching many lives. Because there are many out there who want to see this country looking good.
Are you Airtel?
You don't just come and tell people, you don't just come and campaign on platform and tell people, I will do this for Ghana, I will do that, I will do that. The next moment you come in, you are towing a different course. You can't do that. It's unaccepted. So point is that the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has told us that we should not be spectators, but rather we should be citizens of this country. Do we have people around the Brim River denied water as a result of this?
And Cobra.
Yes. And Cobra and other places. Do we have people suffering? Yes.
Didn't
Do
you?
we have to pay more for the treatment of the water we drink as a result of our own behavior? Yes. If these are realities, what are we doing? Truth is very bitter. However, when it's taken, will cure the disease that you are suffering, from. So for me, I think that I could not have agreed more with Anas or Tiger Eye when they say they embark on this investigation. It's an excellent thing. I'm waiting to see it released. Whoever is cited in there, once again, it should not be the usual rhetorics. We come sit down and talk about it and it goes to die. The love for money, the test for money is just too much. People think if I'm not in politics, I can't make money. If I don't know a politician, I cannot pull strings. And we are turning this country into something else. I am not in politics. I know I need money. Of course, I'm a lover of money. I've been a businessman before I came into politics. I'm still a student and a businessman. Okay, I have a way to work for to get little, but I'm content with the little I get. I'm not looking for huge things. But there are people in this country who pack dollars, millions of money in their houses, but yet they are there embarking on Galamsey just to spoil our land, destroy our environment, and go on, just because of their selfish gain. Let's crack the whip now. Mr. President, if you're listening, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, if you're listening, the Minister in charge of Environment, we beg you, if you're listening, Lands and Forestry, as well as Natural Resources Minister, he's my very good friend, former Volta Regional Chairman. We've
also had the Water and Sanitation Minister also come.
Kofiada, my own brother. Please, all of you, come on board and let's crack the whip.
Even if you have big wigs in your party who may have contributed to your campaign.
It's about time. It's about time.
Who are into small scale mining.
Roland, it's about time we name and shame. It's about time we name and shame.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's important. Otherwise, we won't move forward. We will be where we are.
Because this, the 5 Chinese and the 5 Ghanaians. I mean, I'm sure the Ghanaians were just workers. The 5 Chinese, you see them, they drive 4-wheel drives on the street of Accra, right through to the Western region, etc. At the end of the day, we're told that if they are arrested like this, it doesn't take long and then they are bailed. And the case somehow just loses its relevance.
Influences.
Walker, let me start this way. I'm not sure that when you talk about Galamsey, what it means is that it's illegal. There is a component we call small-scale mining, which is legal and sanctioned by law.
Yes.
And therefore, the illegal miners, which we have christened Galamsey.
The Galamsey itself is illegal. We have small-scale mining.
Yeah,
that we have not designated as Galamsey.
But even their activities, how well do we monitor their activities? You can have the concession,
small-scale
right,
miners.
but yet just they have the concession, all right, they have the license, all right,
it's
but
legal.
yet they are not doing it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to that extent, let me try to restate something that Dr. Benjamin Kumbo has always said, and this morning I see that Kamal is saying it. And he spoke about this issue of what do we call that in protocol?
Yeah.
The protocol admissions that we do, the protocol employment that we do, and so many things. And he gave 2 examples. Kamal, through your protocol, you've been able to get somebody who did not qualify to do medicine, to go to the university
To do medicine.
and to do medicine.
10 people are guinea pigs.
Now you are sick and you are at the point of death, and you know that this guy did not qualify and doesn't have what it takes to be a doctor, but he's come out as a doctor because of protocol. on your sick bed,
he's the one to take care of you.
all of a sudden, the doctor that will attend to you is the protocol person that you have made a doctor.
I tell you.
Will you not die? Will you not die before the guy even start to open your eyes to see what?
Well, you verily know
because
that the
you
guy
know
is not
that the person is not. This is the example that Ben
Yeah.
Kumbo always cites. And I think that it is important that this morning, that is what Kamal is just trying to put across. That look, the protocol things that we've been doing can lead to the bane of this nation. And if you go to most institutions, they will tell you, there are graduates that have come out and you want to do them in simple interview and you see that they don't. I went to sit
deficient.
I went to sit at my uncle's a company where we had to do interview for an accountant. And I asked somebody the difference between a bank reconciliation statement and a cash book, and it was a problem.
Are you sure?
Can you imagine?
It was a problem, and this is an
no,
account.
there's a lot in the
somebody
system
who has gone to do accounting. And I asked the person, so did you do a project where he said, yes, we're Kolebu. I said, what are the recommendations? The person could not remember one recommendations.
Serious?
At the end, when I pressed, was the project work done for you? He said, yes. How much did you pay? He said, I paid some money to a gentleman to do it for me. So the person did not get involved. Of course, the person has the degree because protocol admissions.
But even if your project work is done for you, you have to participate in.
Well, you don't even know what the variables, the data, that how it was collected and what have you. All you wanted was to get the academic mark, and these things happen. So we are in danger by the persistence and the creeping menace of protocol in our society. Having said that, let me come to this galamsey. I am of two views. One, Kamal, if you ask, and I'm sure you've seen most interviews that you have done, when you go to these young persons who are into the galamsey, they will tell you that we know that what we are doing is a matter of death. We know that going down there, we could die, we will perish. But we are doing this because we need to fend for ourselves and to feed our family. We have nothing. So it means that there is a social lacuna that is making these people find themselves frustrated and getting into it. Second, because of the huge levels of poverty amongst our people, most of these people, they don't do it out of excitement. I can tell you. I have people coming from my communities who will go there, and sometimes...
Is that what we're talking about? We're talking about where you have financiers who will bring you there.
I am getting to you. I'm getting to why the financiers take advantage of their bestial situations, their low levels of poverty. In fact, the absence of any hope of income.
An engagement.
And then because they just go and bring them from these communities and come and engage them. And they get very little. And sometimes they get back. Fortunately or unfortunately, go around the community where I come from, Sankana and its environs, all the way to Charpong. These young persons who go through this, when they earn their little income, do you know what they do? They go and buy a packet of zinc to come and put up at least places of...
some 2 single rooms.
You understand?
And he's happy.
And they are happy. They get a motorbike and they are happy to live a life. For them, this is meaningful life.
Yeah.
Question is, why are they doing this? Just to eke out a living, and people are taking advantage of them. If you go to the Charpen zone now, do you know that these people who even come from the area now are being sacked because the concessions are being sold out to West people who are now operating using very complex chemicals that is devastating the environment, and they are taking, and that may lead to some difficulties because we own our land. Somebody somewhere in the Minerals Commission and maybe the Lands Commission, they sell off these places because they have designated them as minerals zone, and then they give it out to people. They sit in Accra or they sit in the regional capitals, and we are in the community and we are not benefiting. So somehow, we may be lamenting, but I'm saying that if we do the right things right, we are able to secure employment. After all, several years of extracting gold from Obuasi. What is left of Obuasi? What is the gold, the effect of the gold in Obuasi? Go to Takwa, it's almost a ghost town. Go to Akwitia, it's the diamond area. It's almost, because these are exhaustible assets. And at the end of the day, when we finish it, the place becomes a ghost town. So I think that as we are looking at the galamsey and the people behind it, let's look beyond just these galamsey stories and say, look, what can we do to generate streams of jobs that will absorb our young men, because they know that it's a danger and they are in it. People are taking advantage of it and they are also financing.
I keep saying that if the top politicians, those in government, decide that we want to stop this today, they can. It is the state of Ghana. So if we are all committed and we want to stop it, we will stop it. Well, thanks for joining me this morning. Kamaldeen Abdullah is a National Nasara Coordinator. Thanks for joining me. He looks very ministerial and very elitist this morning.
He doesn't have a godfather.
I'm not even interested.
He doesn't have a godfather. You don't have a godfather.
No, I'm not interested.
And then
I will show you some godfathers in your party so that you will be adopted.
This syndrome of godfather don't work with.
And then Bernard Mona is the PNC National Chairman. Thanks for joining me, Bernard. Always a pleasure to have you.
It's a delight.
Very affable man.